Hello, and welcome back to Behind the Universe. This is part 3 of Pretend It Never Happened, so if you're unfamiliar with what I do here, be sure to check out the first 2 parts if you have the time. Here are 4 more things that we can pretend never happened. I mentioned in the last part that my initial setup back in WWE 13 was quite garbage, but today's first entry should only reinforce that idea. Like I said in my What Could Have Happened video, tournaments are fucking awesome. They can make for a great foundation to build a series upon, which is why I decided to host one for the sake of crowning a #1 contender for Sheamus' World Heavyweight Championship. So far so good, right? Get this. Since I'm such a funny guy, I even said that this whole tournament was made for the sake of dethroning Sheamus! Oh. What even is immersion, am I right? Who needs that? It's not like I had a plan back in WWE 13 anyway. I was probably just gonna reset in WWE 2K14, and none of this would even matter. Except that I didn't reset, and this is now a part of history. And so the quest to dethrone Sheamus had begun. This was the perfect opportunity to showcase some of SmackDown's biggest and brightest stars as they all battled for the chance to challenge the World Heavyweight Champion at Extreme Rules. This tournament took place during the first month in Universe Mode exclusively on SmackDown and its B show, the SmackDown Live Tour. What the f*** is that? Good God, what is this arena? It looks like I just projectile vomited a bunch of logos all over the screen. But I'm getting off topic. The quest to dethrone Sheamus featured some of SmackDown's best. Future Hall of Famers like Jinder Mahal, The Great Khali, Yoshitatsu, Alex Riley. The list goes on, folks. There were also guys like Randy Orton, Christian, and Rob Van Dam in the mix, but don't worry, they got eliminated early on, so the real main eventers could take the stage. I never made an official bracket for this thing, and I must not have paid any attention to the numbers either, because single elimination tournaments typically don't end with 3 men remaining instead of 2. This wasn't really a tournament so much as it was an amalgamation of me saying, I don't know why, but let's do this thing. The final round came down to Alberto Del Rio, JBL, and Tyson Kidd after Del Rio and JBL defeated Edge and Ryback in the semifinals. I honestly have no idea how Tyson Kidd made it into this match. He defeated Alex Riley via simulation on the same episode that Del Rio and JBL advanced, so I guess that was also a semifinal match? Regardless, this is how the tournament ended.
Tyson Kidd's leaving. Here's the cover. 1, 2, 3, and so what? Alberto Del Rio wins, but Tyson Kidd left the what?
You want to know what the funniest part is? Guess how long that alliance lasted? About a week. Next. All right, I think that's enough WWE 13 for one video. I don't think I'll be able to stay sane after covering that last one. Let's move on to something a little less intense, shall we? Okay, let's see. Wait, what's that doing here? I don't even remember downloading that. Oh wow, I haven't seen that intro in a while. Bit of an odd pairing, but good lord, what is that color scheme? I'm glad we can customize entrance attires now, because R-Truth's attire is just awful that way. 3 minutes in, and the match is already over. Why did I just quit 4 years ago? Let's start from the beginning. As covered in part 2, Kofi Kingston and R-Truth were the default tag team champions when I began my Universe Mode. Just before they were set to defend their titles at Extreme Rules against Team Hell No, Truth betrayed Kofi on SmackDown, which led to the shock arrival of Evan Bourne to the series. Bourne replaced Truth as one half of the tag champs, and Air Boom successfully retained the gold against Team Hell No at the pay-per-view. Rolling into Over the Limit, Zack Ryder and R-Truth stepped up to face Air Boom. At the time, Truth had joined forces with the pre-existing alliance between Ryder and the then United States champion, Jack Swagger. So Truth filled in for Swagger to let him defend his own title against Dolph Ziggler later that same night. Then this lackluster match happened on the pre-show, and after the match, I got that nonsensical cutscene. Rather than replace it with some other cutscene that actually made sense, I left it in. I didn't have a plan at that time, so why not, right? Who cares if nothing makes any sense? Shock value! Nobody will see it coming! Not long after this, Zack Ryder hit R-Truth with a car! Whoa! How did we get from this to this? I've written storylines far more intense than this that haven't gone nearly that far. This storyline was so bad that I had to vacate the tag titles for 2 months until Swagger and Ryder defeated Dolph Ziggler and Big E to win the belts at Vengeance. I even needed to make a footnote for it in my championship history page on the Brendan Plays forums, link in the description. Even by my WWE 13 standards, this is really bad. But is it the worst thing that I've ever done? Well... Remember how Charlotte and Sasha Banks main evented a WWE pay-per-view in the first ever Women's Hell in a Cell match? Regardless of your opinions on the match, you can't deny that it was the first ever Women's Hell in a Cell match. Except that I did it first! That's right, I was first! You can try to correct me in the comments, but I was first! Yes, at No Way Out in WWE 2K14, Natalya and Kaitlyn fought for the Divas Championship in the first ever Women's Hell in a Cell match in Universe mode. And the match was awful. Just terrible. They didn't use the cell at all. Instead, they only left the ring once in what was otherwise a run-of-the-mill encounter. This match completely ruined the chance for me to have a high-profile, groundbreaking build-up to a hard-hitting, jaw-dropping Women's Hell in a Cell match. I could still have an amazing Women's Cell match, but now I can't ever say that it was the first. Then again, it was still the Divas division back then, and I constantly referred to it as the first ever Divas Hell in a Cell match. Technically, there hasn't yet been a Women's Hell in a Cell match. Remember how Bray Wyatt returned in WWE 2K15 to lead the Wyatt family into battle against The Shield at WrestleMania? That was a cool match, right? But wait, you say. If that was his return, then how did he debut? He didn't? Okay, even Bray Wyatt was a victim of my shite booking in WWE 2K14. At SummerSlam, why does everything connect to this show? Bray Wyatt arrived to cost Cesaro a #1 Contenders match against The Miz. Then at Night of Champions, Cesaro eliminated Bray Wyatt from the King of the Ring tournament in the quarterfinals. Apparently there was also a tag team match on Raw where they faced Chris Jericho and Daniel Bryan. What the fuck? And that was it. Bray Wyatt lost and he disappeared. Why? How does that make Bray Wyatt look like a monster? You know what? It's fine. It's fine. He came back in 2K15 and competed in the Royal Rumble match for no reason. But at least we got the Shield match, am I right? Things have gotten better since then. It's not like this horrible introduction to the series completely deprives his character of any dramatic tension or anything. Okay, it did. But at least it didn't completely ruin him? Yeah, I think we can settle on that one.
Sup, Johnny boy?
Thank you for watching. If you want to stay up to date on any information that might affect production, or just watch some of my spontaneous ramblings unfold, then be sure to follow me on Twitter at MathWas97X. Unless something dramatically raise-staking whatever. I'll be more likely to post there than here, so keep that in mind. I hope you enjoyed the new video, and until next time, keep on YouTubing.